So what I do is I'll set a plan for 5 years. And what I'll do is I'll work back from that plan. I'll say 5 years from now, I want to be here. It doesn't matter what I put there. You guys understand? Meaning that you can have any goal, any dream. You want to pay off your home. You have a $200,000 debt that you're trying to get rid of. It doesn't matter what the number is. You have to at least plan. So I plan ahead, and I got that from my dad years ago. And what happened there is when you work your way back to where you are today, you actually can start to see if you're really on the right path or if you've picked the wrong one, because a lot of times people make the mistake of trying to go to a particular place but using the wrong vehicle. Example, you're on one island and you're looking at another island, but you believe that driving a car is the best way to sail over the water. You can have someone who says, hey, I want to have a Ferrari one day. That's the car of my dreams, or a Lamborghini, or whatever that vehicle is of choice. But yet that individual will say, I'm going to work at Macy's for 40 years. There's nothing wrong with Macy's. I'm just saying that individual, if you're going to do a particular amount that pays you a particular amount, very hard to expect to get X amount from a Y result. So you have to eventually match whatever it is you want in life with the career path you're going to choose. They have to meet at some point. If not, you're really dreaming. Okay? I spoke to a friend of mine. He called me up. He says, Chris, 2015 is going to be, and I hung the phone up. So it happened 2 more times, then he realized that, Chris, I think you're hanging up on me. I said, I'm glad you realized it. I said, because I'm not trying to hear it again. I said, I've known you for over 10 years, and every single year it has been your year. Every single year. Some years are better than others, but by the end of the year, you have taken enough steps back to go back 2 or 3 years. I said, eventually, you are going to have to say to yourself, I got to have a plan. My first job was I saw a guy with a custom Viper couple into Dunkin' Donuts. So I had to ask him, what do you do? He's like, I'm a mortgage broker. I was like, I'd like to work for you. He says, do you know anything about it? Don't know anything, but I know that car. I said, if you could at least show me how to get there, that is more than enough for me. How to become a stockbroker. Met the owner, did all this crazy stuff to even get the job, which is a whole nother story by itself. And I remember him pulling up with a brand new Ferrari. And I said, this Ferrari's from this? He goes, yeah. I said, I'm willing to work double time now to do that. He said, what do you mean? I said, I will sleep here to call China if you let me. No jokes. Like literally, I said, I got to get there. So that's where I started. If you want to have success in becoming a pro, realize that we are in the internet age, guys. Don't fight it. Stop using the encyclopedia. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, that's back there. Let it go. It's on the internet now. Okay? Realize where we are. Online marketing. I teach you guys, and I preach it all the time. Get online. I said, just start taking some pictures. And for those of you who have at least attempted to do what I said, hasn't that helped? Hasn't that made it just a little bit easier? It's so much easier. I'm just saying, this is where we are. So when you understand that, that means that if you don't get online and use the internet, understand the internet's going to use you anyway. I showed some people, I said, oh, you didn't know you were online? Let me show you you. And they couldn't believe that that is what was out there about them. So you guys got to eventually figure it out. Those of us that want to live, can we live? Here's what you got to do. Just start. Guys, just start to live. Just stop telling yourself you can't do it. Just stop telling yourself you're not good enough. Like, who's telling you this but you? I've gone through my whole life with people telling me what I couldn't do. My whole life, people told me I couldn't do a layer of things. And all it did was get me excited to prove them wrong. That's all it did. You have to do the same thing. You know when things are really bad? When it's really, really bad. When you have no control over it. When you feel like you have no control over it. You go to your job and you know you want to stay because you know if you lose your job you can't pay bills and your boss is talking to you reckless. That's pain. Because you have an option but you feel like it's taken away from you. Because you don't realize you're better than that yet. I say it all the time. I bug Jahar all the time. I bug somebody like, listen, what are you doing? I mean, anything. What are you doing to get better? I don't care. I don't care what you do. But clearly this ain't the end of you, meaning that you didn't get to this age and it's like, oh, that's it. Like, I'm done. I went to school, graduated. Like, Like, why not keep growing? Why not see what limits you can really pull out of you? Because when you look at some of the greatest people in the world, the only difference between you and them was effort. They just put a little more effort in than you. So what you want to look at is, what are you doing every day? So I have books in areas that I am weak. That's how I grow. If I don't know it, I'm going to study it. And I'm going to study it like if I'm going to try to become the master at it. So I'm going to find every single detail. So the network marketing industry, business, meaning I study those things. I live those things. I spend hours getting better at it and understanding it. So this way, when things don't happen, I'm not shocked. I'm like, I know exactly why. There's been 100 studies about people who did this. I got to change this. Meaning I am on it. Change your environment. I'm very, very, very careful on the friends I keep. Very small group of friends. And then the new people that have become friends are people that, based on the environment. I'm big into growth. The minute someone starts going into a negative route, I just don't. I've mentally gotten myself to the place where I don't try to hold any negative beyond a certain time period. I literally will forget a bad situation if I have decided to move on from it. A lot of you guys hold on to that stuff. You just hold it, and you hold it, and then just next situation happens, and then someone who had nothing to do with the situation, you roast them for the last 10 people. That's not how it's done. This is a question that we all ask ourselves at some point in time. So whether you want to admit it or not, you do. All right. Am I good enough? That's the problem. You still have to ask yourself that. At some point, you have to say to yourself, I am good enough. And then what you have to do is you start paying attention. You know, Bill Gates, I believe, said it. He said that if you're born poor, that's okay. It wasn't your fault. You were born into it. But if you die poor, it's your fault. Who are you sharing your dreams with? So who's some of the people in your life you're sharing your dreams with that you should stop talking to? Just stop. What are you talking to them for? I have friends that call me all the time, Chris, tell me a little about what you're doing. I'm like, no. Like, I'm not telling you. And it's like, oh man, I saw you went on a trip. I'm like, I guess. It's like, oh, what'd you guys do? I'm like, you saw the pictures. Like, I'm not doing it. Why? Because you're not giving me anything that I can use. I know you're only calling to try to drain me. What you guys don't realize is a lot of your energy and a lot of your excitement, there are people who don't have it. They just want to take it from you. You guys know energy does transfer. You ever get off the phone with someone and you're exhausted? He's like, I don't even understand. And that person got on the phone and was like, woo, thank you for listening to me today. Their energy is different, and you're just like in bed, like, what's happened here? They'll take that energy from you. It's your choice. Selling yourself that you are good enough. That is the biggest sale you need to make in your life. And you need to sell yourself that you are better than what some people told you are. That you're even better than what you've told yourself. You need to put yourself on another plateau. You need to tell yourself that I am that good and I will become that good. Because if not, guess what? It's never gonna happen.